Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Programming with a Purpose. Today I'm going to discuss why AI has become such a huge phenomenon in the recent years, although it has been around for almost more than half a century, as it dates back to 1956. So there are multiple reasons to its popularity, but first we are going to look at the history of AI to understand what it is, just how it has evolved, so that we will be better able to understand the acceleration of development of AI. So in 1950s to 1970s can be called as the era of neural networks, which were the computing systems that interconnected nodes that was inspired by the human brain. So there were algorithms that can recognize hidden patterns in correlation in raw data, cluster and classify it over times. Then comes the era of machine learning, which was basically an approach as compared to neural networks, which were basically algorithms and systems. So it was a method of data analysis that automates analytical model building. It is a branch of AI based on the idea that systems can learn from data, identify patterns, and make decisions with minimal human intervention. So after that, from 2011 to 2020s comes the era of deep learning, which was basically data driven. So it was a subset of machine learning that trains a computer to perform human-like tasks such as image, speech recognition, identification, and prediction making. It improves the ability to classify, recognize, detect, and describe the data. Now comes the next basically era, which is now the present times, the era of generative AI. So generative AI basically consumes the existing data, learns from it, then generates data that is very similar in characteristics to the data it has learned from. For example, it can generate text, images, audio, video, and computer code. Generative AI is a branch of AI, but a subset of basically deep learning, and focuses on creating models capable of generating new content that resembles existing data. So basically the aim of these models is to generate content that is very close to the content that humans generate, the creative content, the videos, audio, and the data. So this is basically the generative AI. So let me show you this in a form of a picture. So you can look in the picture and you can see that AI is basically the major thing that covers everything under machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI is a very specific subset of deep learning, which basically enables us to generate data that is very human-like. So let's see why AI has gained so much popularity despite being such an old concept in computer systems. So you can see here that I have mentioned along the x-axis the years of evolution, and the actual evolution of the different systems is mentioned on the y-axis. And as you can see that internet became public in 1993, but it was around in the 1980s as well. So obviously that was one point in accelerating the data. Why? Because we have basically now the means to combine data, and a lot of people were like putting in the input to the data. The connectivity increased. Then there was web-based data, web and social media analytics, and opinion mining. All of these things started emerging in 2000 onwards, when a lot of important data of the individuals are being started to digitize from analog to digital forms. Then comes the era of deep learning. And what accelerated deep learning is basically we have previously had the data of web and social media, but we have like very personalized data that is being saved on the mobile devices, and the data that is extracted from the sensors. So that has basically added value to the data. So there was like more than exponential growth in the data. So we have a lot of data that is being fed into our next era of generative AI that has made the algorithm so powerful. So there are three major things. One is basically the computation power and the storage capacity of the systems have increased many times. Obviously, with improved technology in semiconductor technology and all of these things from the hardware side, we have like huge data systems and data centers that are managed by the big companies, and a lot of customers and a lot of clients access their data or databases. So we have a lot of unstructured data now in the form of like big data in all of those big data centers. That is one of the feature and one of the major basically driving force for the evolution of AI so quickly into generative AI. And other factors are basically obviously the computation power, storage, and the algorithms have also evolved to be more sophisticated. And now with generative AI, hopefully we will be able to generate more algorithms that will be able to predict data at a very good rate. So this is all the evolution and why it has evolved in the present state into generative. So there is so much hype about something, it means that it will be widely adopted. So what are the concerns around the future of generative AI and how it is impacting lives now? So there are concerns about fairness, transparency, accuracy, and privacy, which was already there, but they have like increased many-fold because now we do not know the data that is shared with us, the videos, audios, and the images. Are they actual or are they AI generated? So a lot of scams are now emerging with you can see that some of the snippets I have shared inside this video, that they are very like destructive or negative videos and news that you can see that are fake. Then there are images that are shared that are fake. Then there is a lot of scamming on basically audio calls as well, where they mimic the sound of the person who is in distress, your closed one, and you are going to basically help them by sharing your personal data or your bank account, and then they are going to hack that. So there are a lot of issues that can emerge with this generative AI. A lot of jobs will be lost as a result of generative AI, but that is always the downside of technology. The more automation or technology penetrates, the less human power is required, and we have to basically divert the direction of human power. So the workforce will be more into maintaining the generative AI and how it can be used to basically improve certain things. There are also concerns like copyrighted material can be stolen very easily, deepfakes, infringement, and misappropriation of brands and identities can be done very easily with generative AI. So there are a lot of pitfalls of using generative AI, but let's see what is good about generative AI. So one thing generative AI is very good at will be the personalized marketing, personalized like fashion design, which will be convenient and which will be sustainable for the users and for the world at large. Then healthcare industry is going to evolve with it. Their AI will be able to develop new drugs and treatments that can lead to more effective and personalized healthcare. Education industry is also going to evolve at a major scale because now the tools and technologies required to basically do certain tasks and jobs is going to change. And education will again become more personalized according to your own inclination, your own interests, and whatever is basically required in the industry. So marketing campaigns will be more targeted. So that reminds me of a book that I've read. I'm going to share the title here. So it says that basically after a certain number of decades, when the AI will be so powerful that we do not know, we want to eat something and we will not be able to basically think it through, and an automated car will come and it will drive us to the exact restaurant, and we are going to buy certain things or basically eat certain food. So the AI will take charge of it, although it has been portrayed as a very positive thing, but I see it as a very negative thing in the sense that the free will and the privacy, both of these things are a basic human need, so these needs to be protected. So as much as we want the generative AI and other forms of AI to help us to basically improve our lives, we also want the privacy and our free will to do certain things, since marketing has a lot of influence and you are going to buy the things you don't need in future. So basically you have to be very careful what you are feeding into the system, like your data. So you should be more concerned about your privacy. So AI in general and generative AI is a special case of AI, holds a lot of potential to improve the lives of the people as individuals as well as on a demographic scale, like as a community or as a nation. But we need to push our governments for the proper legislation to protect all of the issues that we can face with generative AI on basically individual level as well as on national level. And also we need to basically see that the system and the data shouldn't be biased towards a certain community or a certain basically race. So this is all. If you have anything to add to this discussion, post in the comment section. Do not forget to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.